According to UBC 971633, the following requirements must be satisfied for the designing of members in the earthquake zones. The first, these are simple guidelines I will just read out. Only the elements of the designated seismic force resisting system need to be used for resisting design forces. Okay, for all type of resisting forces definitely will be resisted by the design seismic force resisting system. Okay, the elements which we will design. The individual components should be designed to resist the prescribed design seismic forces acting on them. Okay, the forces which are acting the beams, columns need to be designed to resist that loading. All building components in seismic zone 3, 2, 3, 4 shall be designed to resist the effects of calculated seismic forces and the effects of gravity loads from floor live, and snow nodes. Okay, the design member should resist the all types of loading, including gravity, floor life, and snow loads. Consideration shall be given to design for uplift effects caused by seismic forces, seismic loads. When the earthquake hit to the building, then the one part go to the, for example, here. When the earthquake hit to the building, then building moves towards this direction. Okay, then, for example, this is the foundation, then this part of the building try to uplift, okay, comes out, try to comes out from the soil. So consideration shall be given to design for uplift effect caused by seismic loads. In seismic zone 2, 3, 4, provision should be made for the effects of earthquake forces acting in a direction other than principal axis. Means if we are considering the effect of earthquake forces in one direction, then we have to must take the consideration to the another direction. Okay, majorly the principal axis where the moment of inertia of the building is more. If the axial load in the column due to seismic forces acting in either direction is less than 20% of the column capacity, the orthogonal effects means earthquake in both directions may simply be considered by designing for 100% of the design seismic forces in one direction plus 30% of the design seismic forces in the perpendicular direction. Means that's how we do the combined effect. Okay, 100% of earthquake in one direction and 30% of earthquake in the other direction. The combination requiring the greater component strength should be used for the design. Okay, definitely after combining the greater component will be used. Alternatively, the effect of two orthogonal directions may be combined on a SRSS, square root of sum of squares basis. Okay, this is the method of combining. When the SRSS method of combining directional effects is used, each term computed shall be assigned the sign that will result the most conservative result. Okay, sign will also be used. The strength and stiffness of framing between this base and the foundation shall not be less than that of the superstructure. Means the part between the foundation and the base must be strong and stiffer than the framing between the base. The strength and stiffness of the framing between the base and the foundation shall not be less than from the superstructure. Means from the upper structure should not be less than. According to UBC 97 1633-2-7, concrete frames that are part of lateral force resisting system should conform to the following. Okay, should be special moment resisting frame in seismic zone 3 and 4. Means we have to design the framing members as a special moment resisting frame in 3 and 4 and intermediate moment resisting frame for zone 2. According to UBC 97, response spectrum analysis is defined as an elastic dynamic analysis of structure utilizing the peak dynamic responses of all modes, having a significant contribution to the total structural response. For the performance of response spectrum analysis, we use model analysis. Model analysis, for example, in first fundamental time period of building, fundamental of time period of building, the building behave in one way. Okay, the other fundamental periods, the building other periods of vibration, the building behave in other way. But for response spectrum analysis, we have to combine all these modes, okay, to get the total structural response. Peak model responses are calculated using the ordinates of the appropriate response spectrum curve, which correspond to the model periods that we have discussed in the methods of analysis of earthquake loading. Okay, so how to pick the peak response values, okay, with the horizontal axis of time period. Maximum model contribution are combined in a statistical manner to obtain an approximate total structure response. Okay, we have to combine all the facts. First fundamental mode, second, third. We have to combine all modes to get the net result or the overall result of the structure. The condition is considered satisfied by demonstrating that for the modes considered, at least 90% of the participating mass of the structure is included in the calculation of response for each principal horizontal direction. It means when we performing the model analysis, we have to make sure that the 90% of the participating mass of the structure should be included in the calculations. Okay, that is very important. The peak member forces, displacement, story forces, story shears, and base reactions for each mode should be combined by recognized method. Definitely by SRS, okay, SS. When three-dimensional models are used for analysis, model interaction effects shall be considered when combining model maxima. Okay, for combining all modes, okay, especially for three dimensional structures or three-dimensional models, okay, appropriate method should be used. Reduction of loads based on ductility. According to UBC, the elastic response spectra may be reduced for purpose of design in accordance with the following items, with limitation that the corresponding design base shear should not be less than the elastic response base shear divided by value R. Okay, these are important terminologies I will explain. When you will use the response spectrum analysis, and after response spectrum analysis you will get the design based shear values, and these design based shear values should not be less than the simple elastic response based shear divided by R, means it should not be less than the equivalent static load method. The corresponding design seismic force shall be used for design. Okay, the reduce, if that is not less than, then that value should be used for the design. For all regular structures where the ground, now these are the most refined or simplified form. When all regular structures where the ground motion representation complies with ground motion definition of UBC using design spectrum, elastic response parameters may be reduced such that the corresponding design base shear is not less than 90% of the base shear determined according to the static force procedure. It means if we are using response spectrum, okay, and we are using design spectrum, okay, then our if our base shear values are not less than 90% of the equivalent static force method, then we can use that for regular structures. For all regular structures, this definition will be same using site-specific design spectrum. Then the elastic response spectrum may be reduced such that the corresponding design base shear is not less than 80% of the base shear determined in accordance with the static force procedure. Okay, if you are using the response spectrum, site-specific design spectrum. For all irregular structures, it should be 100%. Okay, should not be less than 100%, but can be more than, but not be less than 100%. The vertical component. When an earthquake hit to the building, it do not have only the horizontal component. It have basically three components: X, Y, and Z. We normally use the X and Y components because the Z component have very less magnitude. Okay, but if in the structures you are going to use for designing, then how much you can use? It's a two-third value. The vertical component of ground motion may be defined by scaling corresponding horizontal acceleration by a factor of two-thirds. Alternative factors, okay, that's the complete, okay, of for the consider of vertical component of ground motion. Okay, we can use the two-thirds, okay, of the for example, if we are using in the one direction 100%, then the two-third means we can use 66%, okay, in the vertical direction. Alternative factors may be used when substantiated by site-specific data, where the near source factor is greater than one. Site-specific vertical response factor spectra should be used in place of factor of two-thirds. Means when the values of near source factor is greater than one, then you can't use two-third value. You have to use the full 100% values. Now this is example 10.16. I will discuss in detail. Okay, an 8-story hospital building RC frame, means reinforced concrete frame, is shown in this figure, which is to be built in Ahmedabad city. Okay, you have to you can use any city. Okay, depending upon if you are going abroad or in any country, you will select that city. The column are 4 meters center to center, means to the plane of the paper. Here is the paper. Perpendicular to this paper means in this direction column spacing is 8 meter, but in other direction the column spacing is 4 meter. Determine the earthquake base shear and its distribution over each story considering, okay, we have to calculate the base shear in each story. Okay, first of all we will calculate the total base shear, then we will distribute into in each story. Okay, for that the data is given. Okay, floor finish equal to 200, the floor finish 200 kg per meter square, and partition load of 100 kg per meter square. Okay, here is meter square is missing. Outside walls are assumed to be load of 100 kg per meter square. It's again meter square. Sorry. Outside wall are assumed to have a mass distributed over the plan area of 300 kg per meter square for outside walls load for all floors except the roof. In the roof, the uh, outside wall load is 175 kg per meter square. Slab thickness for first and second floor, for this floor and for this floor, that is 200 millimeter, and for all the other floors, that is 150 millimeter. Okay. Now I will explain the example.